Welcome to A-Level and AP Physics. In today's lesson, we will discuss how to measure capacitance of a single capacitor and also how to measure capacitance of capacitors network using multimeter. And this skill is very important. If you love to work in physics lab, then you need to understand how to measure capacitance using multimeter in a right way. So first thing you need to do is you need to change the setting of your multimeter. So first thing always we do is when we use multimeter, we look at setting. So very important, step by step you need to understand. So you can say this is common terminal, or you can say this is common port, and this is milliamps port, and this is also used for capacitance. If you look at this one carefully, you will see CX is written between these two terminals. It simply means that if you need to measure capacitance of capacitor using multimeter, you have to choose these two terminals, and then you can measure capacitance. So this is about setting of your multimeter. So how you need to choose the terminals. Then we will also move this selection switch, and we will change the setting as well. So in this case, you can see this is F is written here, so this is farad. This section is for capacitance. So we have to change this selection switch, and we need to select capacitance. So we have to move this selector. We have to choose this section. So very important one. We will go to that part very soon. Now we also need to understand in this class we will only focus on 100 microfarad capacitor. First of all, we will find the capacitance of single capacitor, then we will find capacitance when two 100 microfarad capacitors they are connected in series. So in this case, we can imagine if this plate is positive, it's connected with positive terminal of the power supply. So this one will be negative, this one will be positive, and this one will be negative. You can also imagine that. So this side is positive terminal of the battery, and this side is negative. So this is how these two capacitors will be charged. So you can just imagine. So in this case, one thing you need to notice is that negative plate has to be connected with positive and positive with negative. So this is very important. Now if we connect capacitors in parallel, also you need to understand, if we have this, let's say this is one capacitor and we have another capacitor. So we have another capacitor. So we have these two capacitors, and here we have power supply. So imagine that this one is the power supply. Now in this case, this plate will be positively charged because this is connected with positive terminal. This will be positively charged, this will be negatively charged, and this will be negatively charged. So for capacitors in series, positive is connected with negative. So I will simply emphasize positive is connected with negative, or you can say negative is connected with positive. Very important point. And when capacitors they are connected in parallel, positive is connected with positive. So this point you have to be clear about this. The positive plate, this positive terminal, this is connected with positive, and negative one is connected with negative. So this is very important point when you need to measure capacitance of capacitors when they are connected in series and when they are connected in parallel. So now let's try to understand how to measure capacitance. So we will look at this video. So you can see how I'm selecting capacitance section with the help of selector. So I have selected this one. So in this case, I'm not selecting 20 microfarad because this capacitor has capacitance more than 20. So I have to go to next setting. So I'm selecting in this case 100 microfarad. Watch this video carefully. So I have capacitor here. I will remove this label, and if you can see on this capacitor, 100 is written on this capacitor. If you can see this one carefully, on this capacitor capacitance is written, that is 100 microfarad. 100 microfarad is written on this. So you can see the setting, the reading on this multimeter is 103, and actual capacitance of this capacitor is 100 microfarad, because capacitor has tolerance, so it is not exactly 100 but little plus minus, because it has certain tolerance. So this is how you can measure capacitance of a capacitor. Now we will connect two capacitors of 100 microfarad in series. So you can see I'm connecting positive terminal with negative terminal. So this is how you can connect them. So you can see is 50. So because when capacitors are connected in series, capacitance is half if two identical capacitors are connected in series. So in this case we have, this is 100 microfarad, so this is 100 microfarad capacitor, this is also 100 microfarad capacitor. So what is the total capacitance? So for this one, C total, we can say C total, this will be equal to C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. So in this case we have 100 microfarad multiplied by 100 microfarad divided by 100 plus 100. So we will get 50 microfarad, or simply you can say C total in this case has to be equal to capacitance of single capacitor divided by 2, divided by number of capacitors. So we have 100 microfarad, it is divided by 2, so in this case you will get 50 microfarad. Now let's go to the next one, how to measure capacitance of capacitor when they're connected in parallel. Connection is very important now. Positive has to be connected with positive, negative has to be connected with negative. So in this case you can see here I'm connecting first of all positive with positive, and then I will connect negative with negative. And now simply you have to use multimeter, and capacitance should be 200, around 200. So you can see it is around 200 because capacitor has tolerance. So this is how you can measure. So let me clean this one so you can see this part clear. So I'll be cleaning this part here. So you can see this is 184.9. So this is the capacitance of two capacitors when they're connected in parallel. So if you need to calculate C total when capacitors are connected in parallel, this is simply equal to C1 plus C2. In this case we are using 200 microfarad capacitors, so simply you have to add these two. So this is equal to 200 microfarad. So this is how you can calculate, means how you can measure capacitance of capacitors, single capacitor, and also capacitance of capacitors network. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions about this one, please feel free to leave your questions in comments and I will try to answer as soon as possible. And if this video has helped you to understand how to measure capacitance using multimeter, please subscribe and like this video because your encouragement is very important. See you in next video.